Alright, so I'm going to be posting this before my videos, guys, and you can partake in it or not, but we're going to do some singing bowls and I'm going to say a little prayer. And you're welcome to just sit and relax and free your mind up before the reading with me. I just wanted to do this. I'll timestamp it, so if you want to go straight to your reading, that's fine too. So we're going to go ahead and start. Take a deep breath. I call upon light in all beings, whom serve only love and light. I ask you, angels, ancestors, and light beings, to cleanse and protect this space. Ask for your protection and guidance so that your divine sight can be delivered with love and healing for the greatest good. I ask you, angels, ancestors, and guides, to assist those whom these messages are meant for, to assist them on their journey of healing and spiritual growth. I appreciate your unconditional love and guidance. Thank you, angels, guides, ancestors, and Lord of Love. Amen. Okay, guys, so singing bowls. I'm just going to relax and listen. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and if so, I'm glad, and I'm happy you guys come to my channel and enjoy your reading. Hi, Capricorn, we're getting ready to do a reading for you. So this is the space in between spaces, and I'm doing things just a little bit differently. I usually would try to do my singing bowls and my little prayers and calling in the angels and guides and spirit help for readings and cleansing and protection and all that beforehand. I just did that in a short separate video that I will post probably before the videos, and then timestamp so people can skip over that if they want, but it's just something I wanted to be available if you want to get in more of a relaxed state, or if you need a couple some words of just grace and gratitude. So Capricorn, this is a new space, and it's a nice space, but I have been struggling to do readings in here because I've never done readings in here. This is a space that's not acclimated to me, and just I'm not acclimated to it. It's a space that's never had readings done in it until I just moved in here, so it had a very it just wasn't reading energy. It wasn't the kind of energy, but I have been working on kind of acclimating this space for readings, for spiritual work, for 3 days now, 4 days it's taken to get to this point where I'm more comfortable in the space, and I really wasn't comfortable at first. I was struggling, but I am going to pull some cards, and we're going to see how this all comes out today. I got quite a few little decks here. I am trying to make these about 20 to 30 minutes long. I'm getting 3 soul cards, excuse me, just to get an intuitive message from these. And this is the first one. So with that, I always feel like there's been a lot of thinking. And there's this energy of this head wound that comes through in this card. And it could be like literally a head wound, or it could be like in like some kind of thinking healing that needs done in the mind space. Oh wow, this was the second card. This to me looks like spirit coming in, whispering, comforting, and guiding this gentleman who is really in his head, really trying to clear his mind. And I was feeling that with this other card. It's like a surrendering feeling I always get with this card. Like you may be trying to surrender to something, accept something, and spirit's coming in and letting you know it's okay and you're protected and you're comforted at this time when you may feel very, there's this feeling of emptiness within. So it's like starting over feeling, like there's too much, so I'm releasing it all and I'm just letting it kind of empty out into the void is what I'm feeling. And we are getting ready to have a new moon on Friday, so there will be that space of that. It's a good time to just let go of negative stuff, so it just goes out into the nothingness, you know. Release the things that just aren't serving you. And if you feel, you know, scared of letting go of old comforts or old ways of thinking right now is what I'm feeling, spirit is here comforting you and saying it's okay. You can surrender. It's okay to feel empty. That way we can fill it up with other things. We can fill the mind up with more positive things. We can work with empty space, you know, rather than a full space that's full of all kinds of things. So this is the next card, you guys. Oh wow, this is a very determined energy I'm getting from this card. So there is like a feeling here of also not feeling whole or complete. There's a feeling here of feeling emptied out, and maybe like you've surrendered a way of thinking or something that was like part of your ego or your personality, the way you viewed yourself, and you're just kind of surrendering and releasing, and it's kind of leaving you feeling like, if this is your reading, if it isn't, don't make it resonate, but it feels like in this reading, it feels like half present, half not, like you're not fully present and it's because you're trying to empty out. It almost feels like a shutting down of the half, which this is actually a collective energy right now where we are trying, we've been like, I believe it's like the left-brained logical thinking for a long time, and we're getting into this right-brained, creative, feminine kind of energy. So that's what I'm feeling with your guys' reading so far. We're going to go ahead and get one of these lantern oracles and see what comes out for you, Capricorn. Thank you, Spirit. This space is really nice for in-between spaces. The other space, you guys, had a leak, so I had to make a lemonade out of lemons, and this works really nice because I needed to get my stuff and a space because I was just tired of doing it in the living room. Responding, not reacting, surrendering, you know, really being still in the mind. In maybe it feels like there was an expressive part of you that you're trying to heal and kind of transmute, so that when you do speak or you do react, you're not reacting, you're acting from a conscious place, from a more mindful place. The only control we have is in how we respond to the hand we are dealt. Yeah, I feel like there's something here that's, in the nicest way of saying this, is a head injury, a mind, and it's a mind pain. It's hurt the mind, and you've been healing from this. This feels like a release of part of and it could go as far as just actual mental illness, mental abuse, mental manipulation, stuff like that really does this stuff to the headspace. And also just conditioning and being brought up a certain way to believe certain things, and we have to release that. And then we're only left with the creative side, which is there, thank goodness, to recreate the logic in our lives and what makes sense. So this looks a lot like this other, there's like a surrendering feeling here, Capricorn, and it's like and this girl's also being comforted by her highest self. So I feel like you do have a lot of comfort right now from your guide, your higher self. There has your back and is letting you know it's all right to release some of these mental tribulations and blockages you may have been recently working on healing, and you are being comforted right now. So if you're feeling like only half present, or like maybe you're not fully feeling yourself because you've had to release part of the self, like unhealthy parts of the self, then that's kind of the vibe I'm getting right now. So we are going to go ahead and get a couple of these here, maybe just one. Let's see here. The divine. There is a lot of support coming in for you today, Capricorn, from the divine, from your angels, from your guides, and it's the divine feminine too. So you could be releasing a lot of reacting, like masculine energy of doing, and you're kind of just sitting there still and surrendering to like a stillness within your mind, so that you can transmute and kind of bridge the gap between what you've known and what you know, if that makes sense. That's what I'm feeling. That's what's coming. This is a passage card on the bottom. To me, this gives me Six of Swords energy, which is mind energy, and it's what are we going to take with us mentally into a new chapter, into a new phase of our life. Excuse me. Into a new phase of our life. Are we going to take the mental baggage, whether this came from conditioning, mental, our own mental pain we put on ourselves, or mental pain others have put on us? Are we taking that with us, or are we leaving that behind? Because we're trying to move from one space to another space, and a better space energetically. So this does mean you are moving into a much better place, and it will be right now it feels kind of emotional, because it feels like there could feel like a loss of part of your thinking, of your protection. Maybe you're feeling vulnerable. That's why I'm feeling all this this protection and this comfort coming in for you right now. It could feel just kind of lonely, and just like I'm just letting this happen, like a surrender of just letting things happen and not interfering and not reacting, and just seeing where things kind of fall into place. That is what I'm getting. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get one of these oracles, and this is the Oracle of the Long Now. And these are Ashley Cook does these decks, and I do love her art. Awakening. Yeah, so this is definitely, and I am going to read that, but it's feeling like a part of your conscious is waking up to this unconscious like mind stuff, and it feels like you're really consciously like shutting down part of your thinking, but that part of your thinking might have been like a really profound part of your everyday being. So this is a lot of like mind healing I'm feeling. I am going to read that. I think I got my books in here, dang it. I am going to read that Awakening card. It is a 16, which in the majors is the Tower. And it comes after some shakeups. And sometimes, a lot of those times, those are mental shakeups in the way we think and see things, our perception, stuff like that. After, changing our view on things, after seeing things differently, everything's shook up. It's like nothing's how it was before, because we woke up. We see it for what it is now. I had this experience during my awakening, and and it's just crazy, because you see like all the gaslighting, you see all the mental and the emotional and mental abuse in your life. You're really seeing this stuff. If this is part of if it isn't, it could be just other things you're waking up to that are just have mentally shook the foundation of what you thought you knew. But it's always good, because it always leaves us more actually safe, and it actually will, even though it's a vulnerable time, it leaves us in a more safe position afterwards, because we now are very awake. It doesn't mean you're paranoid. It doesn't mean you're looking at the worst in things. It just means you see, and you can distance your energy from others, or you can distance your mind from their words, or you can distance, it's not yours. You see what's yours and what's not yours. So let's read this Awakening card real quick. The Awakening card symbolizes enlightenment through violent shakeup. Life does not bring on disaster simply to punish us. So this is like Tower energy. But it will seek to free us from prisons of illusion. And that's what I was feeling, is like something in the mind was kind of got like messed with. Like, and even if it was like our own like fantasies and delusions, it's like, wow, this isn't what I thought it was. Like, I've been telling myself that it was this way when it's really like this. And it's just boom. And it's just, you're awake to that. And it's, you can never unsee it. And it's kind of a sad time, because it's like, but now how can I restructure and see this differently? Okay, so now I can see that is not perfect, or that is not as bad as I thought it was. Because we can go either way. Sometimes we make things way worse than they were, and sometimes we can make things way better than it is. But there's always healing, and there's always like a change in perception needed to make things work. And if you know, hey, I can't make this work, then you know I can walk away. I can not be a part of this job or this relationship or this thinking or whatever it is, this crutch, this habit, whatever it is. It's a multitude of things. Life is flowing. Oh, it says, this goes with your reading very well. It says, if we cannot free ourselves willingly, then the forces of life may arrange a sudden shock. And that is what this is feeling like. But there's this card right in the middle, and I just want to show you guys this again. And this is definitely comfort coming in from your ancestors, spirit guides, letting you know it's okay. You're just going to be seeing things differently, and you're just going through a time of transition and releasing some mental... this could be for a majority of you guys that are experiencing this. You could have, this is Capricorn energy, so you don't necessarily have to have Capricorn profoundly in your birth chart, but most people that watch these videos will be like Capricorn sun. But if you look at what's in your house of Capricorn, stuff like that, you get further into the birth chart, you can really see how this plays out energetically. Oh, it says the arrival of unexpected events that require us to surrender, and that is what I'm feeling, a surrender. Life is flowing, changing, and ceaseless to orchestrate renewal. When misfortune destroys the structures we cling to, it forces us to find a more secure footing in life. The advice of awakening is to see setbacks as opportunities to change and grow. The negative energies that this card represents ultimately bring out the destruction of false concepts that we believed to be real. By tearing them down, room is made for something new. And that is what I'm feeling here. Tearing down some mental constructs of what we thought we knew to create an empty place for something new. And that is what I am feeling, Capricorn. Often personal growth is most impactful when we are processing adversity, moving us towards change, healing, and transformation. Awakening may be the most difficult card in the deck, but think of it as a point where we crack so the light can get in. And that's interesting, because I do always see this like little crack on this person's head, and it reminds me of a crack in the mind space. That's like, it's just, in Tower to me is a lot of the time, yeah, it can be actually external things kind of falling apart around you, but that's because it's not in alignment with you anymore. But this feels very like mental ways of thinking or seeing something just being just cracked wide open and being like, oh, now what? Now I have nothing, or I feel empty, or I feel like, wow, but it's like, this is some new things can come in, and look at it as a chance to grow and grow the new things, the things you want there, not the things you don't. And now you can see for sure, hey, these are the things I don't want in my life. So that's really nice. Okay, so I am going to read just a little bit of this, responding, not reacting. Because I feel like this is a still time for you, Capricorn. The only control we have is in how we respond to the hand we are dealt. There could be some external things happening that are just kind of shaking your mental world up right now. Children cannot control their emotions. Developmentally, their capacity is limited to reflexive reaction until the energy is physically released. As the maiden to the left illustrates, this is why the mother, guardian, crone, or male guardian equivalent is crucial to the child's first 8 years of life. The child is dependent upon the guardian to acknowledge, validate, and hold space for the reality of the child's emotional experience. When a guardian lovingly models for the child how to constructively respond to the full spectrum of uncomfortable emotions, the child learns how to deal with them effectively. Ideally, the guardian will calmly and appropriately support the child until an uncomfortable emotion abates. It is not helpful when the guardian names the emotion, empathizes with the child, and gives assurance that all is or will be okay. It is most helpful. I don't know if I said not helpful, but it's most helpful when the guardian names the emotion they're feeling, also empathizes with them, and I feel like that's kind of what spirit is doing. And you could even have somebody around you doing this. If not, I want you to know that you definitely have your highest self, your ancestors and guides coming in, especially this really nice feminine comforting energy. And then there's just this, there is a softness, a gentleness to your guys' guidance today, and it feels like you could be at a time where you're wondering if you have comfort or support, and you do. And definitely emotional support is necessary from a guardian until a child develops. And if this is about a guardian, this is just a side message I'm getting. Like, say you have lost a guardian, they are with you. They're within you always. We carry them within us, and I believe spirit energy, it just doesn't go somewhere and die. So always keep that in mind when we lose loved ones in our lives. And even when we don't lose them physically to death, we just lose them out of our zone, they're still there energetically, and they're working and they're doing what they need to do, whether this is energetically or physically. People are all in different places in the realms of reality. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and get a couple words here, Capricorn, and let's see. Whoa, here we go. We got inquiry. Accept your own ignorance, and the truth opens to you. You could have been maybe just not known something and not seen it, and now you're seeing it, and it's blowing your mind that you didn't see it, or something like that. There's just, it's like, whoa. Like, and there is that feeling like, man, how did I not see this for 10, 12 years? How did I not see this for 20 years? This is some of the stuff I went through in my life, you guys. And it's really hard to think, wow, I was like blind for like, but I was there, but I wasn't, it's crazy. Asking for information, investigating the nature of something personally. So really digging deep into what you know and what you understand now. And also, once you say, okay, I just didn't know that and I didn't see that, then the truth opens up to you. And it may not be a truth that's easy to understand, and it may not be easy to reconcile with, heal, but these are truths that are necessary for our spiritual growth and necessary for our stability. So inquiry, surrender to the truth, even if it's, I always, whenever I get this energy, it's like the truth hurts sometimes, but it's okay because we can heal that. Hurt can be healed, and even if it's contentment. Oh, and that's right under this card with this comforting, like, spirit energy coming in to kind of I feel like it's like a whisper, whispering to you, comforting you. It says enough is as good as a feast. Enough is as good as a feast. A state of happiness and satisfaction and a sense of fulfillment. Nice. Maybe this surrendering is feeling really good, Capricorn. A surrendering to something where you're like, oh, dang, I didn't get that, but now I get it, and I'm surrendering. And now I'm just trying to rebuild, like, and it feels very, like the way your mind reacted to things. Or, we self-sabotage. That's a human thing. It's not just, and then forgiveness. There could be part of you that wants to forgive somebody or something, or wants forgiving. And that's what this half kind of unseen energy is. And then there's this, I feel like there's a determination here, like a determination to forgive or to be forgiven. It all comes out in the wash. So all stains, all dirt, and I say that metaphorically for all the negative perceived things we do in our lives that teach us our lessons. Once we cleanse and purify and recognize the truth, we find a new truth, and that's how to heal it, and that's how to move on from it, and that's how to understand where it came from in the first place. That's very important when we do self-sabotaging behaviors, negative things, when we choose negative things in our life. There was a root cause of that. We were trying to numb something, or there was some kind of it's usually emotional. It's very emotional usually, why we just kind of we get in a delusional state, whether that's by using substances or just sometimes we just can go into a state of illusion or just to make us feel better. You know, temporary fix though. That's not permanent. It's not long term. It's short term, and it does not. It's not as stable. It's not a solid foundation, and you will get tower moments. A lot more tower moments when you're going for temporary fixes instead of the permanent, long, hard work that it takes. Pardon or exoneration, releasing a grudge, amnesty to enemies. It all comes out in the wash. Releasing, cleansing, forgiving. You guys, this is an important message for you guys. If this was somebody or something in your life where you felt like kind of like gaslighted or just mentally over, you know, like stuff like that, where it's like, wow, how can you do that? Like, it's time to move on from that. It's time to be happy with the progress you've made and the truth you have seen, and know that you're comforted. And there is a feeling here of, it's interesting because it says enough is as good as a feast. If you've had enough of something, even if it's of yourself, that's good. That's good, because that's usually when we make the changes. That's usually when we're like, you know what? I've had enough of this bitterness, enough of this resentment, enough of this arguing, enough of this pain. Now it's time to forgive. Now it's time to heal. Now it's time to move on. This is the powerful energy coming through your guys' reading. If this is your reading and it resonates, Capricorn, that's what I'm getting. So let's go ahead and just get 3 tarot cards real quick on this here. This is a powerful reading, you guys. And then we got that 6 of Cups, the past, childhood, the Hermit, going within, finding that inner contentment, that inner understanding, that inner truth, seeing the light in the dark, and the King of Cups being in control of the emotions, being understanding, being that person that will forgive and does understand all of the emotionals and why people do the things. He's a great listener too. So this could have to do with a also just, this is some masculine energy too coming through, but it's like a really emotionally supportive. This could be like a father type energy too, but the 6 of Cups is like finding those, looking in the past. And we always feel like really good about like a lot of, you know, most people, not everybody, and usually like when you've gone through this kind of stuff, it's like you can hardly remember like a lot of great stuff. But that 6 of Cups is looking at the past, looking at the simple things that made you happy and made you feel content, and finding those simple things within yourself again in the Hermit, and that spiritual truth for yourself, and that understanding of how you can teach and you can learn from all of this and take it all in and find the light even in the darkness. And we do this on purpose to we kind of go into that hermit mode just to say, how did I miss that, or how is this not, you know, how is this happening, whatever it is. How do I forgive? How do I come out and integrate myself back into this after, you know, whether this was really good stuff that just turned out not working out, or this was just the idea that something was better than it was and it just wasn't. It's really about finding those simple things again, and that ignorance, it's childlike. There was something in one of those about the child. It was this 9. It was responding, not reacting. Our emotional intelligence. And the 6 of Cups and the King of Cups is here. And this to me is that emotional, growing up to a higher emotional intelligence, and understanding how our emotions affect us, how they can make us shut down, how they can make us, if we react to them, it can be very self-sabotaging. Instead of thinking about them, processing them, taking it all in, and then moving forward with control and an open ear and an open mind and an open heart, and knowing how detrimental emotions are. This feels very emotional, Capricorn, and it feels very mental. And I mean that in just the mind space, not like mental. But that is your guys' reading, and I hope it helps somebody. And as usual, I appreciate your likes, your subscribes, you guys coming and watching your videos. As always, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.